do things. We don't, I don't know. We don't see people out in jeans, doing the competitions in jeans and not addressed appropriately for the action that we want to see too,
But
right?
I guess it makes you question, in my eyes, going off kind of what you're saying, Justin. You think of those kids that are in PE, not all of them want to compete. Not all of them want to, be in a sport. Our point of PE is to teach them how to have a healthy lifestyle. And some people do have a healthy lifestyle by walking in jeans or, strolling around their house or walking in place while they watch TV. Or, there's a lot of different things that can come out of that. But I think kind of going back to what Deb said, it kind of takes away the personality conflict. Like, I'm going to grade this student differently because maybe I don't like them as much, or it takes that away, because we have kids that are successful in all their classes except one. And is it a skill? Is it a will question? Or is it I don't know if I want to do work in this particular classroom? It kind of takes that aspect out and gives everybody kind of a level playing field.
I always appreciated Justin's input on this, and we've had lots of conversations, haven't we, Justin, in this world, and trying to get our head wrapped around it. And I've always appreciated cognitively and intellectually working through it and talking about it and not being angry about it. That's an appropriate way to say that. For me, I agree with where Justin's coming from in terms of, we know that a lot of learning either happens or doesn't happen because of student behavior, right? That we know that learning is in essence a behavior. Engaging in learning is in essence a behavior. The trouble with when we don't decouple behavior from learning, I think Deb mentioned it, I got cut off here, my internet died. It's that you can't discern if a child doesn't learn something, if it is in fact behavior, the teaching style, the assessment, or whatever. So when I think of standards reference grading, the analogy that always just plays out in my head, and I don't know, it works for me, I don't know if it works for anybody else, is a NASCAR race. I think of all of our kids out there working hard on learning as the NASCAR drivers in their cars, and they're going around as fast as they can, getting as, in and out, or whatever. And then as teachers, it's our job to make sure that those cars are operating at the highest level possible. And so when that child comes in for a pit stop to get assistance from us, to get filled up with gas or to get some wedge in their back corner, or some, you're going to put some extra stickum on their front tires or whatever, right? That we as teachers or crew chiefs, we have no idea what to do to make them go faster unless we have accurate feedback. And that feedback has to be common between us and the student. And the targets have to be common between us and the student, so that they can tell us, well, I need more wedge, or I need stickier tires, or I need more fuel. And then we can give that to them because we have a set of standards that we're all working towards. If we don't know what makes the car go faster or go slower, our only tool is to tell the kid to just step on the gas pedal harder, right? If it's all about behavior, if that's the only game we can play, is you got to study harder, you got to work harder, you got to do more, practice more. If that's our only tool to dissect success versus not success, just like a NASCAR race, if we don't know any of those other pieces, if the standards don't exist and we can't decouple the behavior from what's actually being learned, our only tool to tell that driver is to push their foot on the gas pedal harder. That's the student behavior. When we do decouple, we can more accurately dissect why. And maybe the answer is behavior. And I guess with a lot of our students, that may be where we end, that's what it is. But for the students where it's not behavior, and we can say, well, they're not learning in this style, or they didn't capture what was being taught by the teacher, or whatever, maybe they have a learning disability and they need special education, or they need other supports, and we can now dissect that more accurately to discern what exactly it is we're trying to have the students learn. Well, it's been 45 minutes already. So are there any hangnails out there? Anybody want to touch on something? Any major ahas they took away from after reading this? Favorite quotes, favorite lines from the writing?
I think one of the things that stood out with me, and it's an argument that you hear a lot, that he addressed in his letter to the editor, was about scholarships and grade points. And what really made me feel good about that was when he addressed the rigor situation. Somebody can take a lot of easy classes and have 4.0, and someone can take more complex classes and not do as well. But when you look at the standards that they've addressed, that says a lot more about that student, and about not only about their study habits, but about what they actually know, and maybe something about their ethics or their hard work, because they have chosen to push harder or to go through more complex learning.
Any other takeaways? My takeaway from always listening to Rick or reading his work is his use of plain language. I always appreciate how he gets right to the heart of it, and it's spoken in a way that a parent could understand, or a community member. He stays away from the educational jargon that we can easily get lost in, and I sincerely appreciate that about his writing and reading his work again here. So that's kind of always my takeaway after listening to him. If you've never listened to him on he's very easy to listen to. He's a great speaker. He's got some really good YouTube videos out there on homework, on no zeros, on principles of grading. He's got a whole bunch of them on YouTube, and then they're worth a watch. So anyway, with that being said, I've got a 2:00 principal interview that I have to get prepped for. So does Mary Beth. She's at the beach, so she's gonna have to get the sand out of her toes. Well,
I got 2 on my Zoom playing with buttons.
I sincerely thank you guys all for engaging, and you made the time fly, and I appreciate that. I was a little bit nervous going into this, what this was going to look like, and how we were going to make this all happen. So just thank you guys all. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and we'll see you in a while.
See you later.
Bye.